Dear colleagues, this is a very interesting case. It's a closed angle glaucoma with synechia, anterior and posterior synechia. And if you can see, in the middle of the pupil is a membrane that goes all the way around the pupil, not just the iris margin. The anterior capsule is not being seen. We have to take out the membrane first so we can access the anterior capsule of the lens. So I'm trying to release that membrane. Notice the fact that the anterior chamber is extremely shallow. When I got into the cornea with the knife, was just touching the iris, even though I was trying to tunnel it, the incision, I was still touching the iris. So look at the membrane, how thick and strong it is. It's attached all the way down to the iris and crystalline lens, anterior capsule, and attach all those structures together, and it's a thick membrane that covers the entire pupil. Removing the last part of it and make a large incision, and I get in with the B-hex ring to enlarge the pupil. I like this ring and the Canabrava ring a lot to use in those small pupil cases. Gives me large area to work, and I have 5.56 to 6 millimeter pupil. This device is extremely flexible, elastic, and it's pretty easy to and straightforward to place, and have 3 flanges straight and 3 with eyelets, and you can use the middle eyelet to maneuver and place it on a pupil. The first one got released since the pupil is really small, but with patience you can put that back. Notice the fact that I use the Grease-Haber forces to press down the B-hex ring, since I have no space in between the cornea and the ring to place that and hold the middle of the eyelet. Having this elastic ring, it's easy to bend it, and it's not a real danger to crack it or break it. So I have around 6 millimeter hexagonal pupil now, and look at the bag, how easy it is to move it. So I have a weak zonal. The zonals on 6 o'clock area are extremely weak. The entire bag is moving. I cannot find a spot to start the capsulorhexis to initiate. I crack the anterior capsule with the knife, but I cannot start the capsulorhexis in one way or another to not have the bag moved too much. I tried anti-clockwise, and now clockwise is having more luck, and start the capsulorhexis and have a kind of continuous capsulorhexis, not extremely round one, but still good enough to start the phacoemulsification. Slowly getting into the anterior chamber with the phaco probe, barely getting in since there's no really much space in between the capsule and the nucleus and the corneal endothelium. I start doing a trench, do a stop and chop technique in this case, and try to don't push on a bag on a nucleus. It's very important in these cases. Have a little bit larger trench so I can access deep into the trench with both instruments, and I have a crack all the way down to the posterior plate on one side and the other. It's a little bit of attachment in the middle, but that's no big deal. And I use now my lateral chop, which is a mechanical chop. You don't have to use the phaco with pedal press down. It's just a mechanical hold of the nucleus. This is a very leathery one, and I succeed of having 1/4 of the nucleus detached from all the posterior plate fibers, and keeping the bevel down slowly inside the bag, because on top of the iris or outside the bag is no really much space left. We are close to the cornea, so the phacoemulsification in these cases must be inside the bag. Slowly notice the fact that the fluctuations are pretty much kept to the minimum. You have to press down on the foot pedal very gentle, little by little, and with small bites, being very patient to take out all this nucleus, which is having a leathery fiber type form. It's no big deal, but you have to be really gentle and patient. You don't have to rush in these cases, otherwise you take out the entire bag and have vitreous invited into the anterior chamber, and that's the last thing you need in these glaucoma patients. Half of the nucleus is out. With small gentle maneuvers, I'm able to get the other half to bring it moved on the middle of the bag, and slowly it's cracked the heminucleus into two sections. Have a quarter of the last part of the nucleus pretty much detached from the rest of it, and slowly with small bites and taking your time, it's easy to emulsify it. You don't have to move the instruments, the phaco needle, too much. You use the chopper to bring the pieces into the phaco tip and have a lot of chops, so you have smaller and smaller pieces to aspirate, and in this way you use less phaco energy, and the clear cornea the next day is guaranteed. As long as you stay inside the bag, you are far away from the cornea, and even in those small anterior chambers you have clear cornea the next day. So keep that in mind. You can even stop and replenish the anterior chamber viscoelastic, and in this way you protect the cornea, the endothelium even more. And especially on the last part, the last quadrant, you have to really slow down the aspiration, because every fluctuation in the IOP might bring you the posterior capsule right away into the phaco needle, since you have a loose zonals that can be very dangerous. Phacoemulsification is done, placing the viscoelastic to take out the B-hex ring, and you're gonna see the last part. You have a round pupil, so this ring is very gentle and is not damaging the the pupil sphincter. Injecting the eyewear and all that, I'm not gonna waste your time with this. Thank you, and I hope this will help you in your practice also.